I'm Liyana Hassanel, and this is Nightline, the top stories. MACC to consider stationing its officers at KLIA. And police probe men set to beat dog to death with sticks. Two videos purportedly showing two men allegedly beating a stray dog to death in Pulau Pinang have gone viral. The incident was said to have taken place at a village road in Georgetown on Saturday. In the 35 and 15-second videos, the men wielding a wooden club and a long staff were seen allegedly bashing and stabbing the black mongrel. In the first two strikes with the club, as recorded in the videos, a sound resembling the weak and pained growling of the dog could be heard. The sound then ceased in the subsequent strikes. It was believed that the dog suddenly crossed the dark village road, resulting in a motorcycle running over it. As a result of the accident, the dog was said to have sustained a broken leg and scuttled away to hide in a drain before being beaten to death by the men. The videos have since been viewed over 1 million times, with thousands of commenters decrying the cruelty. Meanwhile, police have launched an investigation into the allegations. Pulau Pinang Police Chief Kau Kok Chin told FMT that an investigation paper has already been opened into the matter. He said the district police chief will issue a statement without disclosing the name of the district where the incident took place. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, will consider a proposal to station its officers at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, to curb any possible corruption activities at the country's main entry and exit points by air. Its Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said the anti-graft body would first need to study the effectiveness and importance of stationing its officers at the airport. Tan Sri Azam said the proposal would be given due consideration, including taking into account the availability, strength, and the number of officers available to be stationed at KLIA. Previously, certain quarters had urged the government to immediately place MACC officers in the country's main international airport to prevent widespread corruption among law enforcement. The Home Ministry also did not object to MACC from pursuing their investigation on the alleged corruption involving the Immigration Department at KLIA. Its Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said that his ministry would give full cooperation to the Commission to complete the necessary investigation process. On June 30th, a commotion at KLIA went viral on social media when Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing was accused of breaking into the International Arrival Hall to rescue two foreigners who were denied entry into the country by immigration authorities. The minister then claimed that there was a corruption culture involving immigration officers in managing the arrival process of foreigners at KLIA. The Unity Government is committed to ensuring the implementation of the FELDA Recovery Plan, which included the settlement of settlers' debts, as previously announced, is completed. Accordingly, the Finance Ministry said the government has approved a government guarantee of up to 9.9 billion ringgit for the agency to issue sukuk. In a statement on Sunday, the ministry said that starting this year, the government has provided an allocation of up to 1 billion ringgit per annum to enable the repayment of FELDA sukuk, which, among other things, funds the write-off of settlers' debts. On June 28th, the government announced an agreement involving a government guarantee to restructure the agency's loan via the issuance of sukuk and revolving credit as part of efforts to restore FELDA's financial position. The major part of the restructuring of FELDA's loans is to reduce the principal of the debt to financial institutions by 7.9 billion ringgit. It would also enable FELDA to cancel 80% of the 8.3 billion ringgit settlers' debt. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi remains confident that MCA and MIC will remain in Barisan Nasional BN, although there has been an offer to join another party ahead of the coming state elections in 6 states. The BN chairman, who was also the UMNO president, said the party that made the offer was known to take opportunities whenever there was an election, including a by-election or general election.
Di mana-mana pilihan raya kecil, apatah lagi pilihan raya negeri. Tambahan pula kalau ada pilihan raya umum. Mesti tawaran-tawaran ini akan dilakukan oleh mereka. Tetapi saya yakin MCA dan MACC akan tetap bersama-sama dalam Barisan Nasional.
Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid said this after launching the 2023 National Entrepreneur Week and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Week in Kuala Lumpur. The BN chairman, who was asked to comment on the action of Perikatan Hassanel's election director, Datuk Seri Muhammad Sanusi Mat Noor's offer to MCA and MIC, urging both parties to join the pact for the upcoming state elections, said both parties had been an integral part of BN, despite their decision to sit out the upcoming state elections. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah has conveyed condolences to the family of AirAsia Berhad's former chairman and co-founder Datuk Pahamin A. Rajab, who passed away on Saturday. Also expressing her condolences was the Raja Permaisuri Agong, Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria. In Istana Negara's social media post, the King and Queen expressed their sadness over the passing and hoped that the family members remained patient and strong during this difficult period. The 77-year-old Datuk Pahamin died in London, United Kingdom, on Saturday night due to a heart attack. He was the Secretary General of the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry from 1998 to 2001. Prior to that, he was the Road Transport Department RTD Director General from 1974 to 1998.
Kejadian yang menimpa Nur Suzaili Mukhtar pada 7 Oktober lalu membuka mata kita.
Dibawa ke tempat kejadian dan ternampak satu mayat perempuan dalam keadaan telanjang.
Hanafi, 38 tahun, merogol dan membunuh Suzaili.
Korban ni sempat pergi kat depan tu minta pertolongan melalui cermin. Dia kebetulan nampak.
Fail Mahkamah, Rabu 9 malam di TV3 dan stream secara HD ditonton.
Malaysians have suffered a total loss of 302 million ringgit due to online scams on social media from 2021 to June this year. Deputy Communications and Digital Minister Teo Ni Ching said the losses incurred from scams on Facebook amounted to 232 million ringgit, whereas on Instagram, 70 million ringgit. Teo said that the ministry has had several engagements with its parent company, Meta, to prove the severity of the matter. According to her, losses of 80 million ringgit were recorded from scams on Facebook in 2021, followed by 92 million ringgit in 2022. However, it has already reached 60 million ringgit in June this year, highlighting the gravity of the issue. As for Instagram, although the amount was smaller, she stated that about 20 million ringgit in losses were recorded in 2021 and 25 million ringgit in 2022. The losses recorded for the first 6 months of this year were 25 million ringgit, which was the same as last year. Due to this, Teo advised social media users to be more aware and become digitally literate to avoid becoming victims of scams. The cumulative number of dengue fever cases from January to July this year has increased by 139%, with 59,057 cases compared with 24,743 recorded for the same period last year. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said that in the same period, the death rate due to dengue fever was also reported to have increased by 122%, involving 40 cases of death compared with only 8 cases recorded last year.
Selangor adalah di antara negeri yang sentiasa tinggi insidens dengue-nya, dan di sinilah untuk kita memastikan rakyat di sekitar Selangor khususnya dan insya-Allah di negeri-negeri lain juga yang kita akan turun memastikan persekitaran juga adalah persekitaran yang sihat dan insya-Allah akhirnya mengurangkan penyakit-penyakit seperti dengue dan sebagainya.
The minister said this after officiating the Madani Afiat program in Dewan Rakyat Batu Caves in Selangor on Sunday. For Selangor, more than 29,000 cases have been reported from January to July 2nd this year, compared with about 15,000 cases recorded in the same period last year, which was an increase of 93%, while a total of 7 deaths. She added that to ensure the community remain consistent in destroying Aedes mosquito breeding grounds, the Health Ministry has introduced the 1 Hour Malaysia Cleanup Initiative to ensure that the effort can be realised. Bot or chatbot technology is widely deployed across various sectors in Malaysia, including finance, e-commerce, customer service and healthcare. While it streamlines operations, allows certain tasks to be automated and enhances user experiences, the collection and handling of personal data throughout chatbot usage, however, has emerged as a crucial cybersecurity issue, which potentially can lead to social, economic or political consequences. Alif Yunus reports.
With the rapid adoption of chatbot technology, the risk of its potential misuse also looms large. In the wrong hands, chatbots can be deployed not just as powerful fraud, phishing or scamming tools, but also for spreading political propaganda, malware distribution, targeted harassment as well as impersonation or catfishing and identity theft. In light of this, Universiti Putra Malaysia UPM Cyber Security Analyst Professor Dr. Zuriati Ahmad stressed the importance of transparency in chatbot development to prevent unauthorized access, data breaches and potential misuse of users' personal information.
The first criteria is transparency. Means that the developer need to disclose the information to user about this particular chatbot. What is inside, and then once you put the info, where the info goes. So this is very important. So this is transparency, between the developer and the user. At least there is a prompt before you start to use the chatbot. Okay, so you might know, this is the that means the tendency once you input the data. Okay, what might be happen after that.
Prof. Zuriati pointed out that strict adherence to industry best practices, regular security audits and ethical guidelines should also be integral to chatbot development processes. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) believe in taking a proactive approach to ensure responsible chatbot usage among the public. The regulatory body's head of Division Network Security, Harmi Mohammed, said that the regulations set by the MCMC are targeted at creating a secure and trustworthy digital environment while fostering the continued growth and benefits of using chatbot technology.
MCMC regulates the telecommunications industry under the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, right? Organizations deploying these bots should actually adhere to the CMA 1998. But apart from that, there are other laws in Malaysia, for example, the PDPA 2010 and other laws, for example, Penal Code, because chatbots can be used for a lot of applications, right? So the local law still applies to the implementation of chatbots.
He also said that MCMC collaborates closely with other relevant agencies such as the National Cyber Security Agency (NACSA) and the Personal Data Protection Commission (PDPC) to ensure that organizations comply with legal obligations and implement measures to protect users' personal data. Harmi added that MCMC also encourages the public to report instances of chatbot misuse or abuse to enable swift investigations and appropriate actions to be taken by authorities. By staying informed and fostering collaboration between stakeholders, Malaysia can harness the potential of chatbot technology while mitigating the risk and ensuring a secure digital environment for all. Alif Yunus, TV3.
After this breather, 6 killed in jet crash. The details when we return. 6 people in the U.S. were killed on Saturday when their plane crashed near French Valley Airport in Riverside County, the second deadly crash in the area in the last 4 days. The plane appeared to be privately owned, and all of the people aboard were pronounced dead at the scene. According to authorities, the Cessna 550, a turbofan jet, crashed in a field at 4:16 a.m. local time in Murrieta before immediately bursting into flames. They added that a marine layer began enveloping the area shortly before the plane was to land, leaving the pilot to perform a missed approach procedure to abort the landing, which generally happens when a pilot fails to see the runway. When air traffic control eventually cleared the runway for landing, the plane had already crashed about 150 meters short of a runway. Authorities said it was too soon to tell if the weather was a factor in the crash, and a preliminary report is expected in 14 days. At least one person has died while 9 others remained missing after a landslide on Saturday buried a highway construction site on expressway in the Hubei province of central China. Officials in the Hubei province said 6 people were found alive as rescue crews continue excavations in hopes of finding more survivors. China's Ministry of Emergency Management activated a level 4 emergency response and sent a working group to the site to guide emergency handling. The minister also urged authorities to find out what caused the incident, after torrential rains in parts of China over several weeks have led to a number of deadly landslides. Janet Yellen on Sunday revealed that the 10 hours of meetings with senior Chinese officials in recent days were direct and productive, helping stabilize the superpowers' often rocky relationship. The U.S. Treasury Secretary, who departed from Beijing on Sunday after a 4-day visit, said the two countries remained in disagreement on several issues, but she is confident that her visit moved forward Washington's plans to put the relationship on surer footing.
The U.S. and China have significant disagreements. Those disagreements need to be communicated clearly and directly. But President Biden and I do not see the relationship between the U.S. and China through the frame of great power conflict. We believe that the world is big enough for both of our countries to thrive.
The visit also included talks with climate finance experts, women economists, and senior officials, including Premier Li Qiang. The goal was to strengthen ties to China's new economic team, reduce the risk of misunderstanding, and create a path for cooperation in climate change, debt distress, and other areas. However, both sides have downplayed expectations for breakthroughs during the talks. North Korea on Sunday slammed the United Nations nuclear watchdog for approving Japan's plan to discharge treated water from the Fukushima nuclear plant. Senior officials of the main opposition Democratic Party of Korea met with the chief of the IAEA to express concerns and regret over Japan's plan to discharge water from the crippled Fukushima nuclear power plant. They claimed the release of the treated water will have a fatal adverse impact on the human lives and security and ecological environment. However, the IAEA chief reiterated the report's finding that Japan's discharge plan was in conformity with international safety standards, and the agency will continue to monitor its decades-long release process to ensure it is carried out as planned. Sri Pahang climbed to third. Action from the Super League when Nightline returns. Football, the 2023 Super League. 2 more matches were played on Sunday night. PDRM FC's winning streak came to end after they suffered a 2-0 defeat to Kedah Darul Aman FC. In Kuantan, Selangor FC's hope of closing down the gap with leaders Johor Darul Takzim diminished as they lost 1-0 to Sri Pahang FC. The only goal of the match came 4 minutes into the second half through Kevin Ingressov's effort. With the win, Sri Pahang climbed to third in the standings with 34 points, only to be separated by goal difference from Selangor in second. Turning to tennis, the 2023 Wimbledon Championships. Italian former runner-up Matteo Berrettini confirmed he is back in business after an injury-plagued year with a straight-set defeat of German 19th seed Alexander Zverev. Berrettini enjoyed an easy start, taking the first set 6-3. The next 2 sets saw Zverev trying to bounce back, but Berrettini held on to his nerve to secure a 7-6, 7-6 win. His next opponent is Spanish world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz. Playing against Nicolas Hari, Alcaraz edged the first set of their third-round match 6-3 and also took the third set with a solitary break of serve after Hari had won a second-set tie-break. The Chilean, seeded 25th, broke serve in the second game of the fourth set, but Alcaraz broke back in the 7th game before taming Hari's serve again in the 12th game to seal a 6-3, 6-7, 6-3, 7-5 win. Also in the next round was Holger Rune. The 6th-seeded Dane fell behind 2-1 in his third-round match with Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and saved 2 match points in the 10th game of the deciding set before falling behind 6-2 in a match tie-break. However, Rune got back to 8-all and then pounced on an underarm serve from Davidovich Fokina to bring up a match point of his own, which was duly converted for a 6-3, 4-6, 3-6, 6-4, 7-6 victory. Still to come, motorcyclists to face court on Monday. Don't go away. Nightline continues. The motorcyclist involved in the SUKE accident, where he rode against traffic resulting in a fatal incident, is scheduled to face charges in court on Monday. Ampang Jaya District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Azam Ismail said that the 41-year-old suspect from Kajang, Selangor, will be produced in the Ampang Jaya Magistrates Court. The suspect had previously provided a statement to the police when filing a report at the Kajang Traffic Police Station following the incident. The incident, which occurred on June 14th, saw the motorcyclist travelling against the flow of traffic, causing a man to fall to his death while attempting to avoid a collision. The victim, riding a high-powered motorcycle, collided with a road divider and plummeted approximately 30 meters. He died on the spot. Kelantan police have called 7 individuals to assist its investigations into a shooting in front of a house of a government employee in Kok Lannas on Friday night. State Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Zaki Harun said the 7 witnesses were called by the police in stages since Saturday. He added police are still investigating the motive behind the incident and that police were still looking for a man suspected of being involved in the shooting. Previously, it was reported that a government employee and his family were left terrified when their house was repeatedly shot at by an unknown gunman on Friday night. The government employee lives at his house with his family, and police found several gunshot marks on the house and vehicles owned by the occupants. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code and the Arms Act 1960. That's all for Nightline this time around. As we wrap up, let's take a look at Japan in Miniatures exhibition in Sao Paulo, where visitors are able to recognize the bristles of brushes turned into rice plantations, or packets of fermented soybeans representing a Japanese castle. As artist Tatsuya Tanaka illustrates his work with the concept of mitate, or the perception of an object in an unusual way. I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching and have a productive week ahead.